it's Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am back with a Scraptember video. Today's prompt is monochrome. So obviously we are joined by the wonderful Laura Alberts. She is partnering with us all month, so definitely go and check her out. And today our special guest is Scrappy Cheeky Lauren. Now she's a fellow Aussie YouTuber, so definitely, obviously, go and check her out because you should watch all of our special guests. But clearly we have a special place in our heart for fellow Aussie scrappy YouTubers. So definitely go and check out her video and like and subscribe. Now, today's prompt being monochrome, I have chosen to go with kind of, well, I mean, I'm classing this as monochrome, but it's kind of bluey green colours. I'm using this paper from One Canoe 2. I don't remember which collection. Sorry, I've kind of merged all my One Canoe 2 together. And I'm just adding a little bit of gesso, white gesso to the background. Not because I'm doing mixed media, just to kind of tone the page down a bit. Although I must admit, with the amount of kind of layout I put over the top of this, you can barely tell that I have done that. But that's not the point. It's there. You know, it all adds to the final effect. So I've just used a baby wipe to do that actually. I find that sometimes that's the easiest way if you're happy with the kind of textured look, which I am. Now I have two photos here and they're actually photos of our shadows, mine and my son's shadows, and then one photo of him holding my hand as we are walking. It's so sweet. And they're adorable photos. Now, I'm kind of playing around a little bit, and I know I'm a little bit off screen, and I do apologise. I'm kind of creating a bit of a mat for my photos to sit on top of. So rather than create my layers behind my photos, I'm actually creating kind of a patterned paper. Well, I want to say mat, but it's like a pattern paper section where I'm layering up different bits and pieces, and then I'll stick that onto my layer, and then I'll stick my photos on top. Now, you end up not being able to see much of it, but again, you know, it all creates the final effect, doesn't it? So as you can see, I've got these greens and sort of bluey green papers, and again from various One Canoe 2 collections, and I've brought them together, and I'm layering up and just kind of creating something that visually looks good, you know, playing around really, just playing around with all the papers. Now, how are you enjoying our September series so far? This takes me a while to faff around with, so I might as well ask you, how are you going? Are you getting any scrapping done? It is day 17, so the 17th of September, so we're going great guns at the moment. We're over halfway. We've done heaps of layouts, so many memories scrapped, and had a great time doing it. So I hope you guys are getting a chance to scrap as well. I mean, maybe not a layout every day like we're doing, but definitely getting a chance to jump in your craft room and do some things that make you happy. So I have found scrapping to be a real joy for these times. I've made all of these videos in advance. So it's still early September when I'm making them, very early September, late August, early September. And we've been in stage 4 lockdown here in Melbourne. So, you know, it has been nice to have that kind of break that scrapping gives me to recharge my batteries, refill my cup, but also just, you know, do something for me. It's been hard because Link's been at home and he hasn't been at daycare, and both my partner and I are working from home and Link's home, and it's just, so it's, you know, there's a lot going on, but being able to have a bit of escape time into the craft room has been a real blessing. So yeah, it's been lovely. Now we are nearing, hopefully, the end of stage 4 lockdown. We will still have restrictions in Melbourne. We won't be coming out of restrictions anytime soon, but it will be nice to have some of the severe lockdowns kind of eased a little bit. Now, I'm really sorry. I'm changing the subject and I have to apologise. I filmed the first half of this voiceover a week and a half ago. And I've only just been able to get back and continue doing the voiceover. So it is going to be a little bit disjointed. I know I was talking prior to this about having some restrictions eased for us as we're coming out of stage 4 lockdown. But unfortunately, our stage 4 lockdown is going to continue for a few weeks longer, which is I have mixed emotions. I mean, it's important because we want to get this under control, this virus under control in Australia, but also, it's tough when you're, living in these kind of restrictions, but that's okay. There are a few little things that are changing for us, which will make life just a little bit easier. One of those things is that playgrounds are opening up again. So I will be able to take Lincoln to a playground as our weather is getting warmer. We're allowed outside for slightly longer. So yeah, it's going to be good. And even though the restrictions are still a little bit more restrictive than perhaps we would love, the whole aim is that we are able to see our family at Christmas. So that is what we are working towards here. And I'm confident that we can get there. So back to what I'm doing. I said I made a bit of a paper mat, a layered paper mat, and I've put my photos on top. Now, you don't see a lot of the paper layers that I've created, but it is enough that you get the sense of the kind of the green monochrome sort of colour palette going on. And so I've stuck my photos, both of them, up on foam on top of that pattern paper. And now I'm just having a look and seeing what else I'm going to include. So I wanted to use these thicker thickers that came with, I don't remember which of the One Canoe 2 collections, but one of them. And they're sort of a greeny colour. They're not an exact match, but again, it's monochrome. So we're going with, tones here. And it just says Lazy Days. And I thought that suited the photos. And so, I pulled that one out. And then you can kind of see all around me, I've got a lot of ephemera spread out. And I just kind of pulled out various things that were in that sort of green aqua-y, minty sort of colour palette. Now, this little phrase word ephemera piece there, it says, I go to nature to be soothed and healed and to have my senses put... Hang on. Okay, I don't know what it says. To have my senses put in tune once more. There you go. Sorry, that was just a little difficult. I have the layout in front of me and it's difficult to read. I do have splatters that kind of splotched all over the writing, and that's going to be my excuse for the reason why I couldn't read it properly. But that is what that little phrase piece says. And I've layered it, or I am layering it now, up with some tags and things like that, just to create a few different kind of blues and greens in behind it. So you can't see much of what I've kind of layered behind it. You can see obviously the little tag peeking out the top. I do put another little ephemera piece up there, so it does cover a lot of it. And then I just used another larger... probably a journaling piece, I guess it is. I don't really journal a lot on my layouts. I will write some journaling, but I don't do a lot of journaling. So I will just add a line or two, probably with the date nestled in between my title and that the tag that I've just created. But yes, I don't use a lot of journaling pieces, so I tucked that in just to add a nice little kind of interest and colour variation behind that tag and the phrase or the quote ephemera. Now I've pulled out, you can see the butterfly and the little plant, and a lot of people call it auditioning. I'm just auditioning different ephemera pieces. I knew that I wanted the butterflies, but I sort of was trying to figure out how to make them work. There was another little tag that said love this, and so I've used that and tucked that in to my photo on the right hand side, just popping a bit of foam behind the butterfly so I can add that as well. So that's going to go somewhere. There we go. So I've decided to add the butterfly in between the two photos and just sort of above my title. I just needed to move the foam to make that work. So I'm just tucking that in there. The plant doesn't make it on the layout. I do love the potted plant, but it's just not going to make it for this particular layout. I kind of wanted to more stick with, I guess, the outside. I know that I was about to say the nature pieces. I know a plant obviously is nature, but a potted plant suggests to me it's an inside piece, and I just wanted to stick with something that was a bit more representative of being outside. So there's that. I've stuck that down. I added another little butterfly in the top right. Now I knew I wanted something in the left over there, so I pulled out that floral sticker as well, and I've added that in the left hand side of my photos. I didn't have another butterfly, or else I probably would have done that. And then I noticed that there were some tiny word strips in various colors on the sticker sheets, and so I am adding those in as well. Now I do have to dive into one of the other sticker sheets to get enough to have 3 in each kind of section, and they're not a perfect match. The fonts are different across the 2 sticker sheets, but that's okay, we still make it work, and you can't really notice anyway. They're just all the blues and greens kind of tones that I was going for in this layout. Now I have told you already at the start of the video who is joining us today. So I am just going to see if I can flick back. It's Scrappy Cheeky Lauren, I believe. Yes, it is. Scrappy Cheeky Lauren. So definitely go and check out her channel. She will be linked down below, and obviously Laura as well. The wonderful Laura is always linked down below. We also have a Scraptember Facebook group if you'd like to come and join us. It's something that we have only just been involved in this year, but the group has been around for quite a few years, and we just share a lot of our layouts that we create throughout the month, but also moving forward beyond Scraptember. It's a place to just share inspiration and just, create a really nice community. So feel free to come over and join us over there if you'd like. The link is in the description box as well. Now I'm just adding a few little hearts into each of these clusters and just pulling them from a few of the different sticker sheets. And again, going with those blues and greens tones, and I've added in a little bit of, it's a sort of copper metal, because that was just in the ephemera packs. Now I'm just covering my photos, and I'm going to add some splatters, and then this layout is done. Of course I add splatters, because what layout is not complete without splatters? Now I do add the navy Heidi Swap Colour Shine, which might seem an odd choice, but with the kind of shimmer that it gives, it doesn't dry super dark, and the shimmer that it gives makes it kind of a lot lighter than you would think when you think navy, and I think it works. So we're going with that. And then I'm going to be all done. I'm going to show you a close-up in just a second, and that is us done. I hope you're enjoying our September series so far. Make sure you check out everybody linked down below. We are loving creating a video for you every day in the month of September. So I hope you're having a wonderful day, and we will see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Bye.